Hey everybody, this is Stuart Heath, CEO and founder of Harvard Grace Capital, with just a few comments on the economy. It's interesting. I was sick towards the end of last week, and when I got back into things, the R word had suddenly reappeared in the dialogue out in the financial media. That's been gone for a couple of months now because everybody been so banking on the Fed and their cuts, and then the Fed meeting was Wednesday, and everybody was convinced that Chair Powell said that there were going to be three interest rate cuts this year. When he rarely speaks that specifically. I listened to his comments. I didn't quite see it that way, and the market kind of rallied, and then almost within hours or the next day. Began a very significant market sell-off that lasted Thursday, Friday, and then again yesterday. And people are talking about the Sahm rule by an economist, Elizabeth Sahm, Sahm, and how it's indicating recession. This is a great article that I'm showing here on the screen. In the Wall Street Journal today, and people must understand when you're looking at data whether it's a leading indicator or a trailing indicator, and in his analysis, the Sahm rule is an indicator of recession, the same way that looking out the window and seeing a bunch of umbrellas is an indicator of rain. It's a reaction. What her data. Nothing wrong with her, and she's actually come out and commented and said, yeah, this just because the conditions of her rule are met does not necessarily mean that we're headed towards recession. We are in very interesting times right now, and so a lot of these models and calculations don't really work. So why is everybody talking about recession? Well, first, the Bank of Japan tightened credit rather than loosened credit this week, and then we the labor report, was a pretty significant jump from 4.1 to 4.3 unemployment. But this has been the trend really since May, and as I've talked in other times, I've said the Fed is seeing some weakness in the labor labor sector, and it's and that's why they're not moving. They're being more patient. So anyway, I don't necessarily think we're headed into recession. I think we are headed in for some bumpiness, and a lot of the bumpiness could be exacerbated by an election season and by other things. But if we're not careful, we could talk ourselves into recession and make things worse than they need to be. Anyway, I'd love your thoughts on this. And I'll be glad when we get past this and interest rates start coming down on a more regular basis, and everything will seem a little bit more normal once we get past the election. So, love to hear your comments. Thanks for listening.